Our boys cross-country team was led by MVP Victor Zhao. Victor has been a steady contributor to the boys team in his last 2 seasons on the team. Coach Heath is expecting even bigger things and faster times from Victor in his senior year. Senior Ethan Donahue was the boys cross-country team's most dependable runner. In his 2 years on the team, Ethan never missed a practice or meet and provided great senior leadership. Good luck to Ethan in his college career. Junior Libby Dockett led the way in an abbreviated but undefeated cross-country season to earn MVP honors for the girls team. Libby has improved all 5 years on the team, including her 7th and 8th grade cross-country seasons at Gloucester Catholic Junior High. Coach Heath is expecting big things from Libby in her senior season. She can run with anyone in South Jersey. Our team's most improved runner was freshman Vianna Espinal. Vianna cut minutes off her time from the first week of the season to the last. Senior Lucia Hutchinson, the girls cross-country team's most dedicated runner, was right behind Libby as a scorer for the team. Lucy never missed a practice and provided great senior leadership. Coach Heath will really miss her and wishes her well in her college years. A late addition to the team, this young woman took Gloucester Catholic tennis by storm once she made her arrival. She took on every challenge Coach Lange threw her way, playing tough competition but never backing down. Her attitude and tenacity were a joy to watch every match, and her ability to pick the game up so quickly was just another testament to how well she can adapt. Our girls tennis MVP goes to sophomore Macy Nugent. Our most improved player for girls tennis is Emily Mundell. She is determined, intense, and attentive. As the lone freshman on the team, she embraced a new sport and challenge with the desire to succeed and the will to continue working no matter how difficult it could be. The joy on her face after winning her first doubles match in Wildwood was a highlight of the season for Coach Lange, and watching her improve from week to week was all because of her dedication to be better. These two young women were the epitome of team leaders. They never shied away from being singles 1 or 2, regardless of the competition. They helped all the new players and Coach Lange as a first-year head coach. They were the glue that held the team together and made sure everything went according to plan. When Coach was forced to miss the final 2 weeks of the season, it was these two girls who helped a seamless transition to Mrs. Quinn, who stood in. They set up a senior gift for our lone senior and made sure everyone could take part in it. Without these two, Coach is not sure we could have completed this challenging season. Our most dedicated players are juniors Sarah Reed and Aaron Walton. For boys soccer, our co-MVPs are Nick Polidoro and Cole Raudenbush. Nick originally planned to play another sport this year. He came out and quickly made himself the heart of our defense. Nick is a tremendous player and a great leader on the field. We look forward to seeing what the future brings for him. Cole is a tremendous talent and his skill set is unprecedented. Cole made teams mark him with their best defender, if not their 2 best defenders in each game. We are really looking forward to seeing what the 2021 season brings for him. Our most improved players are Alex Marino and Declan Kearns. Alex was our lone freshman on the team. He developed tremendously throughout the season and improved so much and gave Coach so much respect for him at developing into a solid defender. One thing we needed more than anything was a goalkeeper this season. Declan Kearns came out late and volunteered right away to make himself our keeper. Declan turned himself into one of the best goalkeepers in the conference. Each of our games, the opposing coaches were all raving about the fact that he turned himself into a great goalkeeper through sheer hard work. Our boys soccer most dedicated player is Colin Murphy. Colin was the heart and soul of our program. He was there every day and was a tremendous vocal leader for what we dealt with this season. He was a tremendous player and someone who flew across the field. We look forward to seeing what the 21 season has for Colin as our senior leader. Our field hockey team's MVP has been a player on the team the last 4 years. She has worked hard and earned her position on the field and her role as our captain. She was a leader on and off the field. She led our team this year in goals and points. When needed, she extended her skills to the defensive side of the field and made some key plays to get the ball back on our side. No matter what the score was or how many players we had on the field, she continued to stay positive and work hard. Her hard work and determination were not only noticed by her coaches and teammates, but also by the coaches in our conference, as she was awarded first team All Tri-County Conference. We will miss her next year, but we wish her all the best. Field Hockey MVP is Tatum Kearns. Our most improved player this year was a new player to the game. She decided to come out and play her senior year with no experience playing. She pushed herself every day to improve her stick work and overall skills. She made improvements on a daily basis and never gave up, no matter what she was faced with in practice or during games. She became a key player for us on the defensive end. Her hard work and determination never went unnoticed. She always had so much positive energy on the field and at practice. Our most improved player is Megan Kupiec. Our most dedicated player this season is a sophomore varsity starter and our goalie. She started the year as a defensive player, and when we were looking for a goalie, she stepped up and took that role. Not only did she take on the role without any experience, but she did an exceptional job. She made some amazing saves and never gave up no matter the score. She recorded 59 saves this season. She was a leader and a voice on the field that the team needed. She never missed a practice and pushed through all the adversity that this season handed us. She is a great teammate and is always willing to do what is best for the team. Our most dedicated player is Tegan O'Neal. With our numbers low this year, the swim team really relied on our top swimmers to pick up the slack and swim a variety of events. Tanner Jones did that in the early meets and swam whatever we needed him to. He kept our streak alive in the 200 free and was first team all-conference in that event. The best thing is Coach Nolan has Tanner for one more year, and he can't wait to see what next year brings. Our most valuable boys swimmer is Tanner Jones. In this shortened COVID season, this swimmer was there every day and was a true leader of the team. He would have a positive saying before and after the swim meet. He could be heard cheering and banging on the blocks, offering encouragement. This year's most dedicated swimmer is Jason Ruggieri. Our most valuable girl swimmer is Emma Chambers. Emma did whatever coach needed her to do, whether it was going up against the best swimmer on the other team, whether that was a boy or girl, to make sure we got a victory in that event, or to helping the relay win, or helping the younger swimmers. She did what a true leader does for the team. She was first team all-conference in the 200 individual medley for the fourth consecutive year and leaves with a school record in that event. She will be continuing her swimming career at Sacred Heart University. Our most valuable girl swimmer is Emma Chambers. In a year that we could only practice once or twice a week, this swimmer showed a lot of improvement and worked hard to learn a new stroke. She worked on doing butterfly all the way to the end, and Coach can't wait till next year to see how she performs. This year's most improved swimmer is Ava Reidinger. Our girls soccer MVPs are two student athletes who share the ability to lead by example, which translated into success for them as individuals and for their respective teammates. Throughout the season, they demonstrated the attitude, actions, and choices necessary to support us in becoming a better team. These two young ladies played a crucial role for us both on the offensive and defensive side of the ball, which led to our successful 2020 season. Offensively, Ella was the player that helped get our team up and going when we were playing down. Ella looks to get forward, is physical, and a solid communicator. She is an unselfish player with tremendous ability to see the entire field. She did whatever we asked of her and did so with a smile. Although she had a successful fall season when looking in the stat box, she is the athlete who becomes most excited seeing her teammates have success. Although she will be missed, we are excited to see what the future holds for her as she will be playing at Cambrie College next fall. On the defensive side of the pitch, this athlete can battle with the best and did so each game. She is not a name you will see in the stat box after a match, but rather one who keeps our opponents out of it. She is one of our most vocal and tenacious players on the field and was able to provide us with consistency and leadership throughout the season. She is the type of player that puts the coaches at ease when she is on the field, as opponents would have to go through Emily before getting close to a quality attempt as a shot. She gave us everything and left everything on the field after each match. We wish her luck as she pursues a nursing degree at Hawaii Pacific University. Our girls soccer MVPs are Ella Van Dyne and Emily Cloak. Throughout their 4 years with the program, these two young ladies demonstrated the attitude, actions, and choices necessary to support us in becoming a better team. They dedicated time on their own before and after practice to becoming better players. They spent time on their individual skills and fitness when no one else was looking, without the desire for praise or validation. Their efforts were constant across the 4 years with the program. As they grew, they became not only starters but role models to our younger players. They are the type of athletes you take over all the talent in the world. These two young ladies gave it their all. One more dig, one more win out of the air, one more sprint. Most importantly, they did it with a smile on their face and without a single complaint. This year's most improved players are Lauren Reidinger and Sophia Testa. Throughout the season, you see the development and maturity that comes with the experience from defeat and success. It is through that process in which an athlete transforms into a true competitor. This athlete has been patient in past years by working their way into our system of play, but was constantly ready when needed. She worked throughout the preseason, before and after practices to make herself better. When given the opportunity to take a starting spot, she did not turn away. With each game, she gained confidence and her level of play constantly increased. The energy and drive she demonstrated on the field was inspiring to her teammates, causing her to become a leader for the underclassmen. Brooke genuinely cared about the team's success, which was demonstrated not only by the individual time she spent working on her game, but her desire for feedback so she could improve. Our girls soccer most dedicated player is Brooke Myers. This year's football team MVP has had an enormous impact on our program over the last 2 seasons, even though he never played a down of football before his sophomore year. Although he was new to the game, Ben's athleticism made him stand out from day one. He was able to become a starter during that year and showed some flashes of the player he was going to be. The off-season between his sophomore and junior year is when he transitioned from being an athlete to a football player. He fell in love with the game and the weight room, and by the time his junior season rolled around, he was the most dynamic player on our team. He became a leader in our program in both words and actions. He scored 10 touchdowns that year and was a big play threat every time he touched the ball. As a senior, Coach Murphy firmly believes that he was one of the best backs in South Jersey, and had our season not been cut short, he could have been among the top players in multiple statistical categories. Although every opponent's number one priority was to stop him, Ben would not be denied. He would routinely drag would-be packs of tacklers down the field for extra yards and was able to manage 5 scoring plays of over 50 yards in just 5 games this season. It's hard to imagine the numbers that he would have put up in a full year. Most of all, though, we will miss what Ben did off the field. His work ethic, fun-loving nature, leadership, selflessness, and desire to win are a rare combination in a high school athlete, let alone one with his talents. He has only cracked the surface of what he can be as a player, and Coach looks forward to seeing big things that he'll be doing in the future. Our MVP for football is Ben Wackes. Our most improved player is Zach Warwick. After a junior year in which Zach played exclusively at wide receiver, he moved to safety this year and had to learn one of the most detailed positions on the field and did it during a shortened off-season. He bought in and was able to make some big plays from that spot. We often use the term hard work pays off in our program, and Zach is a great example of that. There is nothing a coach loves more than to watch self-made men succeed, and it was a pleasure to watch him get the opportunity to get on the field and make the most of it. His teammates and coaches took notice of his hard work, and it was not long before he was one of the leaders in our program. Because of these traits, we know that Zach will be a success in whatever path he chooses, and we only wish we had the opportunity to coach him a little longer. Our most improved player is Zach Warwick. This year's most dedicated player has been with us throughout his 4 years at Gloucester Catholic and is the definition of what we would call a program player. Joe's success on the field was a result of steady progress, buying into the things he needed to do, and committing himself to becoming a player. He routinely goes above and beyond what is expected of him and sets the tone for how a player should practice and prepare. He was a great leader by example, always willing to do whatever was asked of him. Joe was able to win the starting tight end job entering his junior year, and even though he was never a guy that was going to catch a ton of passes for us, he was still a very important part of our offense. The improvement he made as a blocker from his junior to senior year was evidence of the work he put in and his willingness to do whatever it takes for his team. Joe is a Ram through and through, and he embodies everything that the GC family is all about. This year's Lanny Leskis Awards winner has been everything that you could possibly ask for in a player. Since the time he walked in the door as a freshman, he has done everything in his power to make himself a better player and a better person. He challenges himself both academically and athletically and continues to succeed in both. He is near the top of his class, is a standout on the swim team, and is involved in multiple extracurriculars for the school. On the football field, Jason has been a starter since his sophomore season. He was an all-conference performer for us as a junior and was a captain and unquestioned leader for us as a senior. Jason was one of the better linemen in South Jersey last year and will continue his education and football career at the United States Coast Guard Academy. Coach likes to tell our guys that how you do anything is how you should do everything. This is how Jason lives his life. He takes pride in everything that he does, and he expects the best from himself in everything. We expect big things from Jason in the future, and we know that whatever he decides to do, he will make the GC family proud. This year's winner of the Tom Dolingowski Memorial Award came to us for the start of his junior season. That was a team in need of a quarterback, and Braden certainly answered a lot of prayers when he arrived. From the first time Coach met with him, he was undoubtedly the guy he wanted running the show for us. Aside from the physical abilities, what really stood out to us were his maturity and humble nature. That year he stepped in with an almost professional approach to the game, always willing to put in the time to make himself or any teammate better. Although that season started out rough, he helped stay the course and guide the team to winning 4 of their last 5 games. The turning point came in a game against Woodstown where we had no healthy running backs, and Braden just simply told us, "Coach, I can run." For the next year and a half, he was the best power runner on our team. And no one will ever forget when he hit Ben in the back of the end zone for the walk-off win against Gloucester in overtime. This past season, he turned himself into the most complete quarterback that Coach Murphy has had in his time here. Although we were able to play in just 5 games, Braden put up more than his share of big-time plays, and as far as he's concerned, Coach Murphy says he was as good as any quarterback in South Jersey. With all that being said, what will always stand out to him above everything else is the fact that after every practice, Braden looked at every single coach in the eye, shook their hand, and thanked them for their work that day. That says more about him as a person than anything he could ever do on the field. Our first co-MVP for boys basketball is Ryan Roney. Ryan solidified himself as one of the better players in recent Gloucester Catholic history. A 3-year starter who scored 1,191 career points, he averaged 18 points per game over his time in a Gloucester Catholic uniform, as well as set the school record for points in a game. Ryan was first-team All-Conference his junior and senior year. He was an all-non-public honorable mention selection and was voted South Jersey Times Player of the Year in 2021. More importantly than the individual accolades and records, Ryan is one of the highest quality people Coach Powers has ever coached. His contributions both on and off the court will be nearly impossible to replace. He embodies what a Gloucester Catholic Ram should be. Our first co-MVP is Ryan Roney. Our second co-MVP is Ryan Pierman. Ryan is a 2-year starter and an All-Classic selection 2 years in a row. Ryan Pierman was the glue that held it together on both ends of the floor. He is a relentless rebounder who most times guarded players inside that were half a foot taller than him. 10 points and 10 boards was a given on every night. Ryan embraced his role as a rebounder and secondary scoring option, as well as being an outstanding defender. To the trained basketball eye, the aforementioned cannot be quantified. If Ryan did not tweak his ankle in the Tri-County Conference Round 1 tournament game, there is no questions Gloucester Catholic would have been playing Wildwood for the title. Our co-MVP is Ryan Pierman. A selfless team-first player, Xander Truen grew into his role as a varsity contributor. Xander's desire to learn the game, improve each day in practice, and acclimate to the speed of the game allowed him to earn more minutes as the season progressed. By the end of our season, Xander was playing long stretches and in critical situations. He will be targeted as a top returning player in the coming year and will have to shoulder some of the burden of scoring and rebounding that will be lost due to graduation. The future is bright for our most improved player, Xander Truen. Since 2011, someone with the last name of Reagan has played Gloucester Catholic basketball. Cade continued the legacy of his brothers Austin and Connor in making excellent contributions to our program. Cade's steady style of play allowed him to start every game for the past 2 seasons. His leadership and quiet intensity were examples to the younger players of what it takes to succeed. Cade became an important cog in helping the team to a 12-3 record this past season. Our co-most dedicated player is Cade Reagan. Working hard and pushing others to be better, were two characteristics of this most dedicated player. Zach Warwick battled every day in practice, competing with a fire that was unmatched. Although minutes in the games were at a premium for Zach, he still brought a positive attitude to the court no matter the situation. His vocal leadership is proof that players can contribute to the betterment of the team without putting up big stats. Our most dedicated player is Zach Warwick. Our girls basketball MVPs are Ella Van Dyne and Angelina Barrera. Ella is one of the hardest working kids that Coach Goalie has ever been blessed to coach. She has a great attitude, she's team first, is a strong leader, and developed into a very good player. She will be missed next year. She will be going to Cambrie University to play basketball and soccer, and Coach Goalie will be rooting for her every step of the way. Our other most valuable player, Angelina Barrera, is described as a fierce competitor with a great attitude and is a teammate with unbelievable passion for the game. She led our team in points and rebounds, but it's her desire and competitiveness that separates her from so many players. All she wants to do is win. Coach can't wait to watch her lead our team next season. Our first most improved player is Macy Nugent. Macy has made such a great improvement this past season on the court and as a leader. She has great attitude and work ethic. She came to practice every day to improve her game and set a great example for her teammates. Coach is looking forward to watching her grow and develop these next 2 years. The sky is the limit. Our other most improved player is Natalia Barrera. She is a great player and competitor. She always worked hard at every practice and game and was such an important part of our team's success this year. She has a great attitude, she's a tremendous leader and teammate, and Coach can't wait to watch her elevate her game even more next season. Our most dedicated player is Cambrie Todd. Coach Casanetti calls her the Swiss Army knife of the Lady Rams. She does a little bit of everything on the court. She came up big in so many games this year. She is such a hard worker and a big piece to our success. Coach Goalie said she is such a pleasure to coach and has such a great attitude. Our cheerleading MVP is Lauren Westman. Lauren's a 4-year varsity cheerleader, a true team player with great leadership abilities. There was never a time when Lauren was not smiling or lending a helping hand. Lauren is responsible, hardworking, and compassionate. After joining the team her sophomore year, Ananda has shown immense improvement throughout her cheerleading years. She has kept the energy high on the team and caught on to detail without any questions. Our most improved cheerleader is Ananda Early. Carrick Cassidy is a 4-year varsity cheerleader with true Ram and team spirit. She's a hardworking on and off the mat, and it shows. She's a great team member and makes the girls want to be the best version of themselves. Our most dedicated/spirited cheerleader is Carrick Cassidy. Our first co-MVP graduates as the most decorated defenseman in school history. He spent all 4 years on the varsity roster, registering 10 goals and 19 assists along the way. In his junior year, he was named South Jersey Player of the Year, as well as honorable mention in the Gordon Conference. For his senior season, with much of the defensemen from the prior year gone, his leadership showed as he mentored a young and experienced group. Jake led all defensemen with 3 goals and 4 assists, logged heavy minutes as he anchored the power play and penalty kill units, and was dominant in 5-on-5 situations. Once again, he received honorable mention status in the Gordon Conference. He saved his best hockey for the most meaningful games. He had a goal and an assist in a 5-0 win over St. Joseph's. That victory gave the Rams their first ever Gordon Conference regular season championship. 1 week later, he scored 2 goals as the Rams defeated Seton Hall 4-1, propelling them to their first Gordon Cup final in school history. Our co-MVP graduates with his classmates as the most successful group in school history. 3 trips to the state semifinals, a Gordon Conference Division Championship, a Gordon Conference overall regular season championship, and the #1 ranking in the state for a 3-year period. The 2021 co-MVP is also a 2-time captain. He is the only player in program history to be named captain for 2 seasons. Our co-MVP is Jake Grace. Our second co-MVP is a 2-year varsity player. He played only 1 game in his sophomore season, serving as backup to senior Chris Licio. He took the reins in his junior season and did not disappoint. He started 12 of the 13 games, and he carried a young team most of the year. He led all Gordon Conference goalies with a .935 save percentage. He registered 2 shutouts and a 10-2 record. He gave up 2 goals or less in 11 of his 12 starts, despite facing an average of 24 shots per game. At the conclusion of the season, he was named first team All-Gordon Conference, first team All-State, and finished second in MVP voting, losing by just one vote. His season highlights include a 38-save performance in a 3-2 victory over then number 2 Bergen Catholic. He ended a 10-year winless streak versus Don Bosco with a 4-0 28-save shutout and a 5-0 shutout over St. Joe's to clinch the Gordon Conference Championship. Throughout the year, his teammates fed off his energy, and he was a catalyst for the team reaching a number 1 ranking in the state. Our 2021 co-MVP is Zach Mackerlin. Our most improved hockey player is a 3-year varsity member. Throughout his tenure, he has been a team leader, twice named assistant captain. Graduation and injury forced a position change as the 2-year forward converted to a defenseman. He finished the year with a team-leading 9 assists and 11 points, adding to his career totals of 9 goals, 15 assists, and 24 points. His remarkable play on the blue line earned him second-team All-Conference honors and third-team All-State. He scored the game winner in the Gordon Cup semifinals versus our rival St. Augustine and was amazingly consistent as he made his way to the score sheet in 10 of the team's 13 games. His biggest moment came in his junior year on the road against state powerhouse Delbarton in the state quarterfinals as he scored the game winner in overtime. From his freshman year until his final game as a senior, he showed steady improvement, eventually becoming one of the most valuable players on the roster. Our 2021 most improved player is Zach Johnson. Our most dedicated player is a 4-year varsity team member. He registered 13 goals and 17 assists and was a leader on and off the ice. As a freshman, he worked tirelessly to improve his game, hoping to get ice time. Regardless of the amount of shifts he received in a given game, he remained positive and supportive of his teammates. As he got older and his game improved, he became a mentor and leader for the younger players. Always the first player on the ice and the last one off. His leadership and attitude were a major factor in the success of the program for the last 4 years. Coach Bunning is watched daily from his office as he worked on his game before and after school. It was a pleasure to coach a player with that much desire to improve and be his best. Our most dedicated player is Tyler Carter. This season, Rams golf was very inexperienced. The canceled 2020 season, injuries, and remote students depleted the number of golfers who even played in a match before. This golfer was one of 2 with match experience, and that came for him as a freshman in 2019. He stood up to the challenge. He played as our number 1 golfer all season and ended with a 46 average for 9 holes. He was our medalist in many matches and came in the top 20 golfers in the TCC showcase at Centerton. He made first team All-Conference Classic Division and is truly deserving of our Most Valuable Player award for 2021. Our golf MVP is Colin Murphy. This award could go to a number of golfers on the team, but Tyler earned it because he not only improved his average as the season progressed, but he also assumed many of the roles of team captain without being asked. He made sure younger players got to matches and practices. He helped in the process of choosing and ordering uniforms, and he was always willing to do whatever necessary to help the team. Congratulations and good luck in your future at Robert Morris University. Our most improved golfer is Tyler Parcells. Our Coach's Award goes to Mackenzie Boyle. This award is dedicated to the selfless player who goes above and beyond for the team. This season, Mackenzie epitomizes this award. She has not missed a match or practice throughout the season. She has played in numerous positions wherever coach needed her, and she, being the only girl on our team, has never been intimidated by playing with guys or against guys. She is well respected among our entire group and is super competitive and never afraid to go up against any golfer. She played from the championship tees in our 18-hole NJS IAA qualifier and never complained once about it being unfair. Mackenzie is very dependable and coachable, and we are looking forward to the next season when we will all benefit from this year's experience. Our Boys Track MVP award goes to Sam Barber. Our most improved player for the Boys Track and Field team is Ross Skull. Most dedicated member of the boys track team is Hunter Parks. Our girls track and field MVP is Lauren Reidinger. The most improved player of the girls track and field team is Molly Clancy. Girls track and field most dedicated award goes to Savannah Ferrand. This player is the spark plug to our offense. She's a 4-year starter. She leads the team in 4 offensive categories. Anytime she gets on base, we know she's going to steal bases and create havoc on the base path to produce runs. She's been a pleasure to coach. She's always smiling and laughing, even sometimes when it's time to be serious, and has been a positive role model on and off the field. It will be very hard to fill this kid's shoes next year while she's playing college softball at Caldwell University. Our offensive MVP is Abby Lapin. Our first defensive MVP is a very selfless player who is always willing to do whatever it takes for her team. A huge part of having a successful pitcher is having a catcher behind the plate that the pitcher has confidence to throw to. Cambrie has played 2 key positions for us the last 2 years and has played them very well. Coach contemplated not giving her this award because she is her sister, but anybody that knows the game and understands the importance of the positions that she's stepped up and played for us, pitcher as a freshman and in her junior year playing catcher, knows that this award is very much deserved. Our first defensive MVP is Cambrie Todd. Our second defensive MVP came in and immediately had a huge impact on our program. She has dominated the mound from the time she has stepped on it and has been a driving force on the defense. Some games tend to get a little boring on the defensive side of things due to the multitude of strikeouts she throws. It only took her 45 innings to reach 100 strikeouts, averaging 2 an inning, and eclipsed the 200 strikeout mark by the end of our season. We are excited to see what the next few years bring her on the mound. Our second defensive MVP is sophomore Adriana Green. Our first most improved player is Isabella Canardi. This was her first full year playing softball due to the COVID season last year. And in the beginning, she was timid, but as the season went on, she developed more and more confidence in herself. She made great plays in the field and came up with clutch hits in games when the team needed them most. Our most improved player is Isabella Canardi. Next up, when coach thinks of a most improved player in our program, there are a few girls that this award could go to, but there is no doubt that this one made the biggest strides. Not many girls get the chance as a freshman to play varsity softball, but the coaching staff saw something in her and continued to give her opportunities, and she never took them for granted. Coach is excited to see how much more she can grow over her next 3 years at Gloucester Catholic. Our second most improved player is freshman Zoe Mansell. Baseball co-MVPs are Adam Gates and Jeremy Wolf. Our most improved players for baseball are Braden Foster and Jason Morgan. Most dedicated player for baseball is Cade Friel. Our girls lacrosse MVP is Natalia Barrera. Natalia is always consistent and reliable in her game and had a great season this year. She led the team in goals and overall points with 26 goals and 3 assists. She was a key player in the midfield, especially on the draw, where she recorded over 50 draw controls. She was a solid one-on-one defender with great footwork and was confident with transitioning the ball off the field. Her hard work, athleticism, stick skills, and IQ have helped her with all of her accomplishments this season that have not gone unnoticed. She was named first team all-conference and was named this year's MVP by her coaches and teammates. Our first most improved player is a junior defensive player who has been playing on the team since her freshman year. She consistently works hard at practice and is always a positive example for her teammates. She worked hard in the offseason and is always pushing herself to be the best player she can be. She looks for any opportunities to improve her skills in games. She's always willing to help the younger players on the team improve their skills, and she never complains about drills or workouts and is always positive on and off the field. Our first most improved player is Alexis Mood. Next up is our junior goalie, Carly Emery. Carly stepped into the role as our goalie her freshman year and has done an outstanding job in this position. She is always making improvements on her game and looking for opportunities for the team to do their best. She was always motivating her teammates to push themselves at practice and in games. She is a determined player and is willing to leave the crease and run down the field to get the ball to our offensive end. She consistently worked hard at practice and in games and never missed an opportunity to work on her skills. Carly has more than doubled the number of saves from her freshman season and was elected first team all-conference for her efforts. Our second co-most improved player is Carly Emery. Our girls lacrosse most dedicated player is Madison Birth. Maddie came out her sophomore year having no previous experience with the game. Due to last year's circumstances, she missed that entire season, but that did not stop her from making huge improvements this year. Maddie dedicated herself to getting better with her stick work, her speed, and her overall game. She grasped the game of lacrosse on an individual level and on a team level. She was able to see and understand the game at a much higher level this year. At the start of the season, she earned her way into a starting position on the offensive end. She recorded multiple ground balls and caused turnovers. Her dedication to bettering herself in her game were recognized by her coaches and her teammates. This year's most dedicated player is Madison Birth. Our first volleyball award winners are most dedicated players Cameron McDonald and Savannah Snyder. Savannah was one of our outside hitters and middle blocker. She worked very hard at practice and during games. Cameron was asked to be one of our setters, and at times it got very trying, but she demanded more of herself and worked so hard at being a great setter. Both these student athletes were asked to play in a substitute position, and neither complained about their roles as players. This is why their coaches would like to recognize them as our most dedicated players. Our next award winner has been a 4-year varsity player. She has worked so hard to become an all-around player in digging, serving, and net play. Her serve since her freshman year has become one of the best on the team, and her defensive skills were outstanding this season. She was second on the team in digs, and her all-around play increased since her freshman year. Her dedication to the team and Gloucester Catholic and to our coaches is the reason that she was selected Most Improved Player. This award goes to Callie Genovese. Our next award winner is a 4-year varsity member and the kind of student athlete every coach would want in their program. She has been a varsity player for 4 years. In her freshman year, she broke the school record for digs, and in her sophomore year, she broke her own record by almost doubling her amount. During her sophomore season at Olma, she set a new record for opening a set with 16 straight points and set the dig record of 58 for a game. In her junior year, she recorded her 1,000th dig at Morristown in September. As the pandemic hit, we were worried we wouldn't have a season. Coach asked Lauren to be the team captain on and off the court. She made sure that the team was kept aware of what our season would be and when it would start. She just made the coach's job so much easier by taking on all of these extra responsibilities. With a shortened season, she was still able to end her career with 1,300 digs. Her leadership on and off the court, her acceptance to Ivy League University of Pennsylvania is the reason her coaches have chosen her as MVP. Our volleyball most valuable player is Lauren Westman. Our boys lacrosse MVPs are Kellen Hurst and Antonio Rodriguez. Kellen is one of the most dominant players in South Jersey. Whenever he steps onto the field, he is locked in and ready to go. He's an incredible role model for our younger players. This year he reached a 100 goal mark in his career even after missing his junior season. Antonio Rodriguez is the heart and soul of our team. He is the leader of our defense and plays every game like it's his last. He is a very vocal and true leader. He had over 180 saves this season and set the school record with over 414 career saves. Our most improved player is Aiden Okram. Aiden is one of the most vocal leaders on our team. After missing his sophomore season with an injury and not having a junior year, Aiden has exceeded all expectations of himself. He finished the year with around 20 goals and is a selfless player who is always encouraging his teammates and pushing them in the right direction. Joe Martinelli is the first player who comes to mind for the coaching staff when they think of most dedicated player. Joe is a very vocal leader who gives everything he has for his team. He never quits and always pushes himself for his teammates. Joe is a 4-year varsity player and is an excellent student athlete on and off the field and embodies what we want our Gloucester Catholic Lacrosse program members to be. Our Male Athlete of the Year award is voted on by all senior varsity letter winners. This year they have selected Ben Watkins. Ben is a 3-year member of our football team and has also competed in basketball and soccer. Ben will graduate Gloucester Catholic as one of the most dynamic athletes to ever play here. Our Female Athlete of the Year award is voted on by all senior varsity letter winners. And this year they have selected Ella Van Dyne. Elle is a 4-year member of our soccer and basketball programs and has also excelled at lacrosse and softball. This year Ella was voted MVP by both her soccer coaches and basketball coaches and will begin her playing career for both of those sports in college at Cambrie University. Our Boy of the Year award goes to the student athlete who best exemplifies the qualities that Gloucester Catholic High School stands for. There are a lot of great candidates, and this year was narrowed down to one. Braden Foster is the epitome of a quiet leader. He excels in both the football and baseball fields while getting it done in the classroom. He treats everyone he encounters with respect and carries himself with dignity. Congratulations, Braden. Our Girl of the Year award goes to the female student athlete who best exemplifies the characteristics that Gloucester Catholic stands for. There were a lot of great candidates, but we narrowed it down to one. Lucia Hutchinson has excelled as both a cross-country runner and a member of our softball team. She has been described as one of the nicest girls to ever walk the halls at Gloucester Catholic. She is a friend to everyone she encounters and has been a tremendous competitor for our athletic teams. We wish her the best of luck. Each year, the final award of our sports banquet is the Al Corelli Memorial Scholar Athlete of the Year Award. This year, the award goes to Jason Ruggieri. Jason has been an excellent three-sport athlete through his time here at Gloucester Catholic. He has been a dominant member of the football team, a dominant member of our swim team, and this year, in his first year playing the sport, became a dominant member of our boys lacrosse team. All of this while taking a rigorous course schedule and maintaining a top 10 ranking in his class. Next year, Jason will be continuing his education at the prestigious United States Coast Guard Academy. Congratulations, Jason, and thank you for all your hard work over the last 4 years.